Okay, here. Hello, guys, welcome back to a new video. Today, it's me. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to try this again because it keeps not sharing my screen. Can you see my screen now? And I don't know if it's loading, but if you can, it says you're spectating, but here. Let's watch the video.
He's 19 years old, but apparently just turned 20. He thinks that he's Asian. He's weak and gets sick easily, and the cult gave him the name Isaiah. We can only deduce a few things about the cult from the things Isaiah has told us. First of all, we know that the cult sells things online, like nuts, berries, peas, women's skincare, worship material, candles, and dried snacks. Isaiah won't tell us the names of any of these stores, since he doesn't want us finding out anything about where he is. But if we were to find one of the websites where the cult is selling this stuff, we could easily find out where he is. We know the cult has goats, electricity, and uses gas for cooking. Isaiah has previously mentioned that he lives in Western Canada, most likely British Columbia. The cult is located far away from major cities and is possibly a polygamous cult, seeing as Isaiah once mentioned his mothers, plural. There's been a lot of speculation on which cult he's in, but we've come to the conclusion that Isaiah is part of the 12 Tribes cult, because Isaiah has said many things that are consistent with 12 tribes. First of all, 12 Tribes has several locations in British Columbia. Additionally, they have a pretty large online presence, and they are known to run a candle-making business and sell hyssop oil. This cult believes that art is against God, just like Isaiah's cult believes. The most solidifying factor in this theory, however, is that they refer to Jesus as Yahshua. Yahshua is one of the transliterations of Jesus, but this transliteration is extremely commonly used by 12 tribes. Literally, if you type in Yahshua cult on Google, 12 tribes will be the first search result. All this information together almost completely confirms that Isaiah is a part of 12 tribes. This still doesn't tell us exactly where Isaiah is, since 12 tribes has 7 locations in British Columbia, but regardless, this is progress. As intriguing as this whole situation is, we do need to take into consideration the possibility that this is all just a hoax. It wouldn't be the first time someone lied about something like this, and so far, we've really just been taking Isaiah's word as truth. It's great that everyone is trying to help him, since if this is real, something has to be done, but we also don't want to waste our time on a troll. There are a few inconsistencies in Isaiah's story. One of them became apparent to me when the Discord group made an attempt to grab his IP address. We sent him an IP grabber link, which he clicked on twice, and we got 2 different IP addresses. They both led to Montreal, Canada, which is on the complete opposite side of where Isaiah claims to be. Now, his IP address led back to a company that offers VPN services, so it's likely he's using a VPN to hide his IP address. This becomes even more likely when you take a look at a comment on one of his posts where someone recommends that he install a VPN. What's interesting about this is that the VPN Isaiah is using costs a monthly fee. In Isaiah's cult, the money that he makes selling things online goes straight to the cult. He doesn't keep any of it. So how is he paying for the VPN? Surely, he didn't get a cult member to pay for it. This question still hasn't been adequately answered. Someone in the Discord group linked the comment, which is now deleted, where someone allegedly said they would give Isaiah money for the VPN. This still isn't confirmed though, since there's no way to see what the comment actually said, nor confirm that this guy actually paid for the VPN or not. Second, Isaiah told one of the people in the Discord group that a kid saw him browsing Reddit and snitched on him to one of the cult members. This is why he started posting a bunch of Bible quotes, to repent for what he did. So my question is that if he's repenting for being on Reddit, then why is he still posting on there? He even posted more of his artwork, despite being told that was a sin as well. It doesn't make sense that he would repent by doing the same thing he's repenting for in the first place. Third, there are just a lot of things he's saying that seem to contradict each other. Every time someone offers him help, he says that he doesn't want to escape. Yet in another post, he says, "I just feel really like I need to escape all of this." One of the contradictions that really surprised me were when he made a post asking what to do if he's going to be homeless soon. And in the comments, he seemed totally okay with the idea of hitchhiking with random strangers. Yet, the people that have offered to come to where he is and pick him up, he declines. He also talks a lot about wanting to be here for his siblings so they can be safe. He goes as far as to ask how he can get custody over them. Yet he also talks about suicide and refuses any way out of the situation. Why would you want custody over someone if you think you're going to be dead soon anyway? Fourth, someone in the Discord group said that Isaiah told them he didn't have an email address, so they tried to make one for him, but he never used it. Here's where the inconsistency comes in. If you look on his Reddit profile, his account is email verified. So either he was lying about having an email, or he's using the cult's email address. Even if that were a case, it still wouldn't make sense, since that would mean the cult would be notified every time he made a post or received a comment or message. Finally, he seems to be extremely cautious about giving us any information that would reveal his location, since he doesn't want to be saved. Well, for someone so set on not giving away any personal information, he has given us quite a lot if we were able to deduce this much in this little amount of time. There's so much here that just isn't adding up, and normally, inconsistency is a consequence of lying. As much as there is that doesn't make much sense, I'll admit, there are also some things that really make me wonder if this is genuine. To start, this has been going on for months now. It would take a lot of dedication to keep something going for this long. Also, he's made quite a few posts.
Okay. We're gonna watch this now, okay? It's the same, but it's the update version of the Predator stuck in the cult.
Hey guys, this is an update on the Redditor stuck in a cult video that I made not too long ago. That video got a lot of views, so I feel like I owe it to you to make an update. I just don't want to leave you on the edge. So a lot of new information has come forward, and I think we're getting closer to solving this, and I think you'll find a lot of this interesting. So before I start, I just want to say, you might have noticed I'm not reading off a script like I normally do. I just feel like the best way to communicate everything here is just speaking naturally. However, I am reading off of bullet points that I made just so I know what order to go down things for this. So, I'm going to start with just telling you what happened on Isaiah's account since my last video, and then I'll move on to some of the more interesting stuff. So Isaiah made a number of posts. One of the more notable ones was titled, "How can I post a video? Thank you." And then later he posted a video titled, "Old Video." So this is the video that he posted. As you can see here, it kind of just looks like an old VHS tape, but the beginning of the video starts out with just music and shots of people dancing. And that's our goal, to save their souls, the love that Jesus brings. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be people in the cult or what, but this is what we're seeing. Just before 2 minutes, it cuts to some kind of travel guide or documentary of Japan.
Now we'd like to introduce you to Tokyo, the capital of Japan.
So 2 other people that are also investigating this believe this video is fake because it shows some locations that are outside of Japan, which include Fiji and South Korea. So this would make this whole thing seem like more of a hoax because this fake video kind of just came out of nowhere like this. Isaiah also posted this picture right here, which he claimed is a picture of his mother, and then he deleted it shortly afterward for a reason I don't know. I did a reverse image search on the picture, and I came up with nothing. So I don't know where this image came from. So I guess we could say
Excuse me, don't do that.
that this is evidence for this whole thing being true. Some other information that we know about the current state of Isaiah is that apparently Isaiah escaped the cult somehow. How, I have no idea. And I also have a screenshot of a text message between Isaiah and I think someone on Discord. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. My personal belief right now is that the whole Isaiah just made this account situation is a hoax. And I think I might know who's behind it, but I'm not going to say anything about this person. I won't say their name. I will try to reveal as little information about them as possible because, 1, I could always be wrong, and 2, I just don't think I should be making all that info public for their sake. So after my initial video, one particular person made a very big deal over the video. They wanted me to take it down, They were saying a lot of stuff. They made, like, to me, it seemed like they made a much bigger deal out of this than most other people that were in the Discord group at the time. This person, I also believe, is the person who is behind the whole Isaiah hoax, is what I believe. Once again, I don't know this for a fact, but this is what it seems like to me. And based off the evidence that we have so far, there are a few other people from other Discord groups that agree with me on this. So here's the evidence that we have. First, I'm going to start with just an anecdote that someone on Discord told me about this person. They said, with blank, they're inconsistent. They claim to have information regarding Isaiah's Troy identity 1 minute, then say they don't and have no information the next. That's what makes over half of the blank group believe blank is the game master. And by game master, one of the theories behind this is that this whole thing is an ARG, and GM, it just means game master, which would be the person who is running the ARG, just so you know what that means. So one of the more interesting developments in this was that there was a post made by an account called Breaking of Bread, and this is what the post said. I'm an X12 Tribes member. This is my Reddit account that I use to talk to other X12 tribe members. I'm honest about the problems in the 12 tribes, which is why I left, and I'm not so blinded by hate for them that I cannot also correct things that are not factual, so I do. There are many reasons why this fake troll, Isaiah/blank, is not in the 12 tribes. They don't have multiple mothers, don't own pets, don't watch TV, don't rely on some kid to post soap online for money. They homeschool and have teachings on one's ethnicities, and many, many, many other reasons that were covered in the now closed Discord. Isaiah/blank themselves run the other Discord just to keep the story going and to throw everyone off their trail. The entire investigation into who/what/where Isaiah is was completely covered on a now disbanded Discord, one that was not run by blank, and just by investigating Isaiah's accounts and commenters, it was 100% proven to be a blank from blank. They planned this story hoping to make it a big ARG because they were having a hard time doing their schoolwork since they game so much, and they thought making up a fake rape victim who lives in a real cult would be a fun, funny, cute, dramatic way to impress blank and secure themselves a seat at the university. The investigating Discord asked them to issue an apology on the Isaiah page to the unsuspecting Redditors who are trying to find this rape victim that doesn't exist. They thought about doing it after December/January when they heard back about their blank early decision. And that censor I'm talking about right there, I just censored out the name of the university that I don't want to reveal. Disgusting. When the actual investigating Discord saw posts and discussions about young people and teens planning on visiting cults to see if they could find Isaiah, fly their drones over, etc., that was about the time they were figuring out that it was them. Blank didn't want their info turned over to the authorities, so they lied on Discord, saying that they were a rape crisis counselor. They lied, saying they were getting him out next week, back in October, that he was flying to a place in Florida, that he was getting picked up by someone in California, and basically said anything so that the folks on Discord wouldn't turn their info over to the police. They claimed to speak to him and be the only one speaking to him and knew his exact location, but they would not involve Child Protective Services or the local authorities, even though they supposedly had pages of conversations that they could have used to help him and his siblings escape. It was all a lie. Blank has multiple accounts trolling everyone here and on Discord who investigates, contacts Isaiah's accounts, and refutes or questions the validity of any aspects of their game. They've accused people of gaslighting, lying like they do, and has sent incredibly numerous messages, continuous allegations, and loves to attack real ex-members of the 12 tribes. They're dangerous and disgusting. I agree with those who investigated this troll, blank. They marginalized rape victims with their fake Isaiah story and unleashing unsuspecting people onto a legal, intentional community who are searching for a victim that doesn't exist. I'm not going point for point with this troll, but they are coming at me hard and fast, so I thought it was high time I finally get it all down here for others to take the info I've shared and either walk away forewarned or do your own investigation from the beginning, starting with who Isaiah and his commenters are, instead of looking out into the world for a person who doesn't exist in a place that does. I'm not in charge of Discord, Isaiah, cults, rape victims, or Reddit users. I'm just sharing exactly what happened, and I'm not playing blanks screenshot games. I'm a busy adult who joined other busy adults into looking into a possible rape victim in the place where we grew up and still have family and friends. Believe me, if Isaiah were real, we'd have been the first to find him and get him and his sisters out immediately. All of the info can be found if one does their own research on Reddit, so take your vitriol elsewhere and go do your homework. Blank, Isaiah, and your 50 other fake accounts. Thank you to those who support rape victims and ex-cult members. We are not legion, but we're more than a few, and we appreciate everyone who didn't abuse us when looked into the possible victimization. So, almost immediately after that post was made, the person that they were talking about in that post commented on that almost immediately afterward, and then very soon afterward, breaking a bread, their account was deleted from Reddit. So that post is now gone, that account is now gone. Now, of course, as far as we know, all of this could just be a lie for attention, since it was deleted shortly afterward. But there's another person who's also very closely investigating this on Discord that I'm talking to, who has actually done some kind of investigation into the person that we're talking about right now, and they can actually confirm a lot of things from this post. Now, obviously, I censored this information out, but this post included a location of where they lived, which has been confirmed as the actual location of this person. They included an approximate age of the person, which has been confirmed as true. And the university that was mentioned in that post has also been confirmed by the person themselves, saying that they did get accepted into that university. So right now, things don't look very good for this person. But I still wasn't fully convinced it was this person until back in, I think it was mid-December, I received an email from someone who was in a Discord group that I was kicked out of, and they actually have they sent me the screenshot right here that I'm showing right now. I've censored a lot of the, telling information, but this person right here at the top that you're seeing, this is the person that, that we're talking about right now, that I suspect to be the person behind the Isaiah hoax. And in this post, the person says right here, they say, "Hey guys, I'm sorry for pretending to be Isaiah." So right there, they admitted to pretending to be Isaiah. However, from the rest of this, it seems like they were only pretending to be him temporarily to protect him or something, but they're still claiming Isaiah is real just for a moment they're pretending to be him, which I don't believe at all. What this post essentially proves to me is that there was at least one time where this person admitted to pretending to be Isaiah. If they pretended to be him once, I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say they pretended to be him this whole time, especially given all the other evidence toward them. I don't think this is a coincidence. And I know the screenshot is real because I've shown this to other people and they have confirmed this was an actual image. This actually was said by this person. Now, if that isn't enough, this person that we're talking about, that I'm not revealing any information about, they also, I heard this by word of mouth through other people on Discord. Apparently, this person has threatened me and Nightmare Expo, saying that if either of us, I don't know why Nightmare Expo is involved, but they said that if either of us posted a video, another video about Isaiah, then they were going to expose us. So I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know. I have no idea what they meant, or at least I don't know what they meant when they said they were going to expose Nightmare Expo. But for me, they essentially said they were going to make a Reddit post just saying a bunch of nasty things about me. I guess saying that
This is really bad. This is actually very fun. Load computer. Okay, so creepy Reddit accounts. Let's watch this because we're doing a 1-hour video. What are you doing? Cameron, why did you leave? Why'd you leave? I was picking a video.
in a few of my recent videos, I covered some creepy Reddit accounts that you guys seem to like. I found a few more that don't have enough content for a full video alone, but combined, this could become some sort of series. Let me know what you think. But first, a quick message from our sponsor. And oh my gosh, guys, I'm not usually an RPG fan, but this game has really taken my attention since I last spoke about it. And hundreds of champions to collect and customize. Being a stalker can be scary. It's only a matter of time before they know everything there is to know about you, and they're near impossible to get rid of. This Reddit account gives us a look into the mind of a psychotic stalker. Daryl Pratt's first post was made on May 2nd, 2016 in the Legal Advice subreddit, and it was simply titled, "Can I get in trouble for sending a girl love letters?" Unfortunately, we can't see what the post said since it was removed by the moderators. You can get a pretty good idea by reading the comments. They're filled with people telling him to leave this girl alone and get professional help. Some of the comments indicate this girl is some sort of social media celebrity that blocked him. By the few comments that are still on this thread from the original poster, we can see that he's clearly not sane-minded. Aside from the first post, Daryl Pratt made 4 others, most of which were also removed by moderators. In all these posts, everyone in the comments is telling this guy how creepy he's being and expressing their fears for the safety of this girl. All the while, Daryl seems to be totally unaware of how strange his behavior is. He claims to have no idea why he was blocked, and even mentioned that he's thinking about threatening suicide to get her to talk to him. You can particularly see how little of a grip he has in reality by the way he references The Notebook and Game of Thrones to justify his actions. Once Daryl Pratt's account started getting more popularity on another Reddit thread, he got into an argument with someone who mentioned that she probably already has a boyfriend. This made Daryl very angry and sent him into denial. It broke his heart. One of his final comments read, "I'll most likely be dead tonight, so that should make her extremely happy." Daryl never made another post after this again. Some people think he killed himself, and others think he was just a troll. I'm leaning more toward the latter. This next account follows the story of a Redditor who let his curiosity get the best of him and went on the trip of a lifetime. Flip and Flop has only made one post, and it was on the drugs subreddit in April of 2017. He explained that he got his hands on Datura and wanted to know how much he should take. For those of you who don't know, Datura is a powerful plant hallucinogen known for putting the user into a state of delirium, where they will experience full-on hallucinations that are indistinguishable from reality. Unlike other more well-known hallucinogens like LSD and shrooms, which are generally safe, Datura is incredibly dangerous because of its toxicity and tendency to cause permanent psychological damage. Most people who use this drug have a bad time. To make matters worse, Flip and Flop's method of ingestion was to crush up the seeds and make tea out of them, which is the most dangerous method of ingestion that has led to the most hospitalizations and deaths. The comments section was filled with people warning him this is going to be much more than just your average trip, but he proceeded anyway. After grinding up 15 or 16 seeds, he made tea out of it and posted that he would update everyone in an hour or so. A bit of time passed, and people began to wonder how his trip was going. Eventually, he made a single comment on the thread that read, "Google.com, how normal again, stop now." About 12 hours later, he made another comment on a thread on the gaming subreddit that said, "Please, these big dog are fighting, nah, okay." He was clearly having a very scary experience and didn't seem to be coming down. After that, he never made another post again. Now, of course, this guy could have just been a troll. His account was made on the same day as this one and only post was made, and this is something that could have easily been faked. This really wouldn't surprise me, but on the off chance this was real, I genuinely feel bad for what he must have experienced. Around 2010, there was a user on Reddit by the name of Yay Video Games. He seemed like a pretty normal person, posting in video game subreddits pretty frequently. One day, someone made a post on the gaming subreddit asking people about their favorite mods for a video game. Yay Video Games made this comment about the uninstall button not working, and someone responded clearly confused by this. Yay Video Games' next comment made even less sense, saying, "The install button. The game is great. Ubisoft Ghost Steamworks, bye-bye. Always on DRM. But you oft go work, always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you." This was followed by Yay Video Games leaving incoherent messages like these in the replies. He made over 4,000 comments, all saying pretty much the same thing, until his account was banned. Some of these comments included links that led to strange images, such as the phrase, Steamworks Bye Bye Always on DRM scribbled onto a white background repeatedly, and other weird stuff like this. What makes this account particularly creepy is that up until this point, this guy was totally normal. The most popular theory is that one day he just lost his sanity, which resulted in this. If this particular account interests you, you can see a much more in-depth video about this that was posted by Nexpo. I'll leave a link in the description. Those are all the creepy Reddit accounts I have for you today. If you know of any other anomalies like this, be sure to let me know, and maybe we could create a...
Okay, next video, guys. This next video. Cameron,
This
do
video
not
is
leave.
sponsored by Dashlane. In today's digital era, staying safe online is
Come on.
to create a religion that
There
we
it
now
is.
know as Scientology. The main belief of Scientology is that people are immortal alien beings that are trapped in a human body. By undergoing a series of teachings, however, one can free themselves of their human form, although not much more outlandish than some other religious beliefs. Scientology tends to get a lot of flack, since a lot of these classes they offer that promise enlightenment often end up costing thousands upon thousands of dollars. Additionally, they've been involved with a lot of sketchy and often illegal behavior, including blackmail and harassing members of the church that go against them. Today, look at a particularly unsettling case of a Redditor that had a run-in with the Church of Scientology. Begins on November 25th, 2018, when the user DoCity7Throw made a post asking for advice on how to get Scientology off his back. He explained that while out with a few of his friends, they were handed some tickets for a free personality test in the Church of Scientology. He didn't want to go. One of his friends that was actually in Scientology insisted that they went. Upon arriving, one of his friends took a 200-question personality test. Ever since then, this person has been receiving mail from the Church of Scientology every 2 weeks or so. Despite going back to the church to confront them about this, they insist that he isn't on any of their mailing lists. This apparently isn't uncommon for Scientology to do to people. In fact, many of the commenters even told him the only way to get them to stop was to threaten legal action. Strangely enough, the original poster seemed to have a change of heart out of nowhere, saying he sorted it all out without any legal action. His next post baffled everyone. It was titled, "After contemplating it, I finally decided to join the church." The post simply led to a picture of the Scientology contracts that he signed. All he had to say for himself in the comments was, "Oh my god, ever since I stepped back into the doors of Scientology, they have treated me really well. I promise you that all the bad stuff you hear about them is false." He seemed to be totally brainwashed, but every time someone pointed out the mistake he was making, he simply responded with things like, "I find it sad that the church has this bad of a name. Let me make my own decisions, please." His next two posts were posted on the Today I Effed Up subreddit. The first of which was titled, "Today I effed up by joining a cult and my house getting broken into because of it." He explains how he was at a vulnerable point in his life, which led him to being an easy target for Scientology. After joining, he spent $4,000 on their books, clothes, and a joining fee. After 4 days in the church, they told him he was exceptional and wanted to send him to the New York Scientology church. He spent 5 days there, and when he came back home, his house was ransacked. When he checked his security footage, he discovered 3 Scientology members raiding his house. He promised to upload the security footage after the police investigation was over. His final post was made 3 months later. He explained that he moved houses 3 times and bought 2 handguns for self-defense. People from the cult continued to follow his social media activity, and at one point, he even snapped this picture of someone walking around his property. As disturbing as the events this person experienced are, the authenticity of it all is very questionable. One of the posts by this person received over 10,000 upvotes, yet very few actually tried verifying any of this. Aside from the fact that the events unfolded in a suspiciously close time period, a lot of the things posted by the original poster just don't add up. When this guy announced that he decided to join the church, only 3 days after he complained about them harassing him with mail, he posted this picture of the signed contract, which he now deleted. What's interesting is that if you Google Scientology contract, this is one of the first images to appear. As some Reddit users have pointed out, this is literally identical to the signed contract that the original poster uploaded. It has the same scan line underneath the first bullet point, and the symbol at the bottom is faded in the same way. He almost certainly just printed this one out. If that's not enough, later on, he said in the security footage that he reviewed from the house break-in, there were people wearing robes that looked identical to the Scientology robes that he bought. This is just a flat-out lie because Scientology members don't even wear robes, which I'm sure also explains why he never released the security footage, despite promising to do it nearly 7 months ago now. Just about everything in this guy's story says that it's a hoax. Now, just because this particular story was fabricated, that doesn't discount the disturbingly large number of stories posted by real ex-Scientology members. A lot of the methods of harassment described here have actually been used by the Church of Scientology. One particularly horrific part of Scientology is the Hole, an alleged prison camp where Scientology members that go against the Scientology leader are punished. Although its existence is denied by the church, there are some pretty horrific stories of things that go on there, which I'll be discussing in a future video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.
And guys, I know this is like a 1-hour video, but I don't give a shit. I really don't care.
If I may just interrupt for a moment, you realize there's a little bit of a problem in getting people to talk critically about the Church of Scientology, because quite frankly, they're scared. Oh, no.
In my last video, I discussed the infamous religious group Scientology. Created in the 1950s by sci-fi writer L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology has grown today to have millions of members, according to the church at least. This religion that promises spiritual enlightenment has been a thing of controversy for about as long as it's existed. They've been accused of exploiting their members for monetary gain, harassment, and all different types of abuse. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the darker aspects of Scientology, its prison camp called the Hole, which Scientology denies the existence of to this day. The Hole is the unofficial nickname of a facility operated by the Church of Scientology on Gold Base, located in the San Jacinto Mountains of California. The facility consists of a set of double-wide trailers conjoined together, which used to serve the purpose of being offices for the church's international management team. Gold Base was initially acquired by Scientology in 1978 under an alias to keep it a secret. It was staffed by Sea Org members. The Sea Orgs are Scientology's inner circle of most dedicated members, only consisting of around 6,000 people. The Sea Orgs are held to a code of ethics they must adhere to. Violation of this code was one of the many grounds for being sent to the Hole for months or even years at a time. Violations included performing poor work, showing any doubt or hostility toward the church, or literally anything that angered the leader of Scientology, David Miscavige. It isn't difficult for one to find themselves in the Hole. Life in this facility was not pleasant. Up to 100 people at a time would be cramped up in the double-wide trailers, leaving hardly any space to move around. People would sleep in sleeping bags on the floor, desktops, and in cubicles. The only time they were ever allowed to leave was to attend church events or shower. They were only given 15-minute time periods to eat, and the food they were given consisted of leftovers and slop. To add to the already horrible living conditions, the building was infested with ants, and there were times when the electricity wouldn't work, which caused the indoor temperature to reach over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Leaving wasn't an option. Most of these people had been brainwashed into thinking they truly deserved this, and even those who did try to escape were rarely ever successful. The perimeter was heavily guarded, and a bladed fence surrounded the entire facility. Those who tried to escape were caught by Sea Org pursuit teams and subjected to further punishment. We're only getting started with the conditions these people had to endure and still endure. They were forced to participate in group confessions, in which they had to confess negative thoughts toward David Miscavige and Scientology. As an ex-Scientology executive stated, it was like Lord of the Flies in there. Prisoners would try to force each other to confess to ludicrous things by screaming at each other and resorting to violence. Some of the more specific punishments they endured involved being forced to crawl around a conference table for long periods of time, being kicked from behind if they stopped. Others had to sit under an air vent with the AC blasting while cold water was repeatedly poured over their head for over an hour. Although the church denies these things ever happening, there are some pretty horrific punishment practices they do admit to. These include a modified version of overboarding that Dave Miscavige reintroduced in 2000. At night, members would be brought out to the base's pool or muddy lake and forced to either jump or be pushed into the water in freezing cold conditions while Dave Miscavige watched. Additionally, the group of Sea Orgs were brought into one of these offices and forced to play a twisted version of musical chairs. The rules were the same as usual, except they were told that whoever couldn't find a chair would be sent away from Scientology and their families. The game quickly became violent as people pushed each other into the walls and snatched chairs away from people in their desperate attempts to stay in the game. At the end of this sadistic game, they were all told they were still allowed to stay in Scientology.
One time, Mr. Miscavige ordered his communicator to break my finger if I didn't answer his question.
In 2012, Debbie Cook, ex-Scientology executive who spent 7 weeks in the hole, testified in a court case against Scientology about the atrocities of the hole.
There were ants. The place was infested by ants, so ants would crawl on you. And there was a 2-week period during that time when all the electricity had been shut off, as ordered by Mr. Miscavige, and this was, of course, in summer in the desert, and so the temperature in there was about 106.
She was one of the first to speak out against what was happening, which eventually prompted others who escaped the hole to talk about what went on in there. Later on, another ex-Scientology executive, Mike Rinder, who spent nearly 2 years in the hole, talked about his experience there.
None of the people that were in the hole had just walked out of a job at the Village Voice. They're all people who had years and years and years of indoctrination into this is how things are, and this is what's right, and this is what's acceptable, and this is what you tolerate, and here's what you put up with.
Another former executive, Mark Rathbun, only spent 4 days in the hole in 2004 before deciding to escape after seeing his friend, Tom DeVocht, being beaten by Dave Miscavige. One night, while the prisoners were told to jog to a building 400 yards away and back, he hid in a bush until everyone was gone, retrieved his motorcycle, and hid by the gates until they opened to let a car in. He used this opportunity to bounce. His friend, Tom DeVocht, escaped a year later by somehow managing to climb over the fence and walk 6 miles to a bordering city. All this talk led to investigation into Scientology by the police and then the FBI. The police had no luck doing anything because of legal difficulties, as well as Scientology members flat out refusing to speak to the police. Once the FBI got involved, however, they were able to use aerial surveillance to see that there were executives being escorted by guards to and from the hole. Not long after this, there was a court ruling which stated that Scientology's activities were protected under the First Amendment's freedom of religion, which caused the FBI's investigation to come to a halt. Although Scientology denies the existence of the hole, I have no doubt that it does exist. All the testimonies from the escapees, although anecdotal, can't be ignored. Plus, the FBI's brief surveillance confirms something is definitely up. It's unsettling to know that there are still people being subjected to these conditions. There's not much that any of us can really do, except spread awareness of what's going on.
She went to Uncle Billy's to talk to him about something. I'm gonna call someone. I'm also filming. Please go away.
Huh?
I'm filming a video with my friend Cameron.
Here, goofball.
Go away.
Look here, goofball.
Go away.
Light out.
Turn the light on and close my door. Okay. Okay, guys, that's for the videos from today. Cameron, what do you want to say before I end the video? Cameron, what do you want to say to them before the video ends? Excuse me, I do not suck. They can see the messages that you say. They're going to say I don't suck. Cameron, I know, and that's not nice. I do not suck. Who's the one that doesn't post on YouTube, you? Okay, ignore my friend being an idiot. She's on her period. Bye, guys. See you in tomorrow's video because this is going to be premiered.